everybody. I am unmuting the Zoom because I'm just that good, you know? Good morning. You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is the Friday edition of The Morning Buzz. Whoa! It's the first one of the semester for Fridays. I am your host, Gabi Lutz, joined by my co-host,
You got it.
I cannot speak today. We're having a great start. Mari Zuniga. Gina Morelli is our trends host. Is it trends or is it segment? We're gonna say segment for today. Yes, you know, she knows. And we're joined by our co-producer, Lara Zaccardi.
I'm subbing today.
She is subbing. She is doing newscasting for today. So yeah, that's what the vibes are today in the studio. We're having a great start. As you can tell. So before we get started, today you're going to be hearing a lot, you know, we're going to be hearing the vibes. We're going to be talking about, you know, Texas and their 6-week abortion ban. We're going to be talking about Trump's secret meetings before the Capitol riots. You know, we're going to be talking about the Garden State Parkway, things like that in the next hour. But before we get on to all that good stuff, hey, Lara, do you have it ready? Do you have the newscast?
I think I have the newscast.
Look at her go. All right.
This is my second newscast ever.
Throwing it to you.
Oh my God. I'll catch it. Anyway, in national news, Meatloaf, Bad at a Hell singer, has died at the age of 74. The statement has said, "Our hearts are broken to announce that he..."
Yes, words always. The statement has said...
Incomparable.
You got it.
I don't got it.
You got it? The statement has
said that the incomparable Meatloaf passed away tonight with his wife, Deborah, by his side. Daughters, Pearl and Amanda, and close friends have been with him throughout the last 24 hours. There'll be more on this story later, so stay tuned. In Jersey, Atlantic City is cutting $500 checks to its residents and business owners who were negatively impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. Did I say virus?
Wow, we're really having a great start today.
But we got this.
This is coronavirus.
This is about as ice poop. Anyway, the city's mayor announced on Thursday property owners, both residents and non-residents, are eligible to apply for money, which is being funded by the city's cut for a federal payment it received from American Rescue Plan. In local news, news reporting can be dangerous business, especially for journalists who, I don't know what is going on. But
you got it. Keep going.
Do I have it?
Yes, you do.
You do. You have it.
But a local news reporter gets hit by a car on live TV and hails it like a champ. So, props.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
You're so fine.
But the local journalist was filming her segment on a tripod rather than with an actual cameraman. So there was no one to warn her about the oncoming vehicle. And there wasn't much time to react. And like other people on the scene were checking in her condition. And though as onlookers could be heard asking if she was all right, she picked up the tripod and gamingly continued the broadcast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Let's talk about the weather today. The weather is
cold.
The weather is cold.
It's a little chilly.
Today will be a high of 74 and a low of 10. It's currently 12 and feels like 0. It is very cold. Mr. Snow is not happy.
Mm-mm.
We have excellent air quality with level of 19 and a wind chill of 8 miles an hour.
I love that the air quality just gets better as it gets colder.
It does.
Yeah. The math isn't mathing.
It's not mathing, but you know what? We're gonna let it happen. Thank you for that news update. It was great. You wrote it like in 2 seconds.
Thank you.
And no flaw.
I tried so.
You did very great for the fact that you wrote that like 2 seconds flat.
I tried.
Here at the Morning Buzz, we're very professional.
We are very professional. I can't say that we are not.
We work well under pressure.
We do.
We do. Honestly, we do.
do.
So before we get into anything else, we have our little sports cast. But because we don't have a sportscaster, because we are lacking, it's fine. I, your host, Gabi Lutz, will be doing the sportscast today. And let me just tell you guys, I don't know a lot about sports, but we've decided that this will be something fun that I can do. You can get the sports point of view from somebody who doesn't know a lot about sports. So let's talk about it, right? Yesterday in hockey, the Golden Knights had beat the Canadiens 4-3. The Krakens beat the Sharks 3-2. Avalanche beat the Kings 4-1. Panthers beat the Oilers 6-0. The Predators beat the Jets 5-2. And I'm going to give one more because there's so many teams. The Flyers lost to the Blue Jackets 2-1. How dare they? The Bruins beat the Capitals 4-3. As for what is next with that, NBA, whoa, basketball.
Wow.
Hello. We got the Lakers playing Magic tonight at 7:00. We got Thunder playing the Hornets tonight at 7:00. We've got the Clippers playing the 76ers tonight at 7:00. And we've got the Heat playing the Hawks at 7:00 tonight, or 7:30 tonight. Whoa, change of pace. And there's some other more games also, but there are too many teams to just go over all of them. So that's your little basic rundown, hockey and basketball, because that's all that matters in the winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that was your sports update. I hope you all enjoyed it. So let's get into the stories, right? Let's do it. Okay. The Supreme Court permits continued enforcement of Texas' 6-week abortion ban. The Supreme Court allowed Texas's 6-week abortion ban to remain in effect. The order was issued on Thursday, blocking litigation against the law, while the state's highest court weighs procedural question related to the measure's enforcement. The court's order was unsigned and provided no explanation. The 3 liberal justices dissented, arguing that Thursday's order undermined the court's December decision permitting abortion. Providers then proceed in limited fashion with their lawsuit against the Texas law. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, did I get that? Yeah, wrote, joined by Justices Breyer and Kagan. Yeah, quote, this case is a disaster for the rule of law and a grave disservice to women in Texas who have a right to control their own bodies, end quote. On the other hand, the Texas Right to Life, a leading anti-abortion group in the state, wrote in a statement, quote, with today's ruling, the lawsuit will continue in the appropriate venue, and the Texas Heartbeat Act will continue to save preborn lives, end quote. All right, guys. Abortion laws. So basically, I'm going to give my little input.
Mm-hmm.
Do I personally agree with abortions for myself? No. But do I think that it's my decision for a woman to tell a woman what to do with her body? No. My opinions are my own. They do not reflect what the station's opinions. So these are my own personal ones. But I think you can be against abortions, but be pro-choice.
Yeah, it's insane how with women, and especially in Texas, that they just get their rights stripped away like this.
Yes,
it's insane because yes, like you said, some people don't agree with it, but women should have their choice.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's difficult because like every situation is so unique to itself, and I think you can't be like, oh, it's banned. Well, what about those with really, really good reasons? I mean, any reason's a good reason, right?
Yeah.
But I think with like in extreme cases, reasons, you're just going to tell them they can't get it. It doesn't make sense. But
it doesn't.
I mean, realistically, I think it should just be the woman's choice, right? And I mean, there can be limits, I mean, there are certain limits. It comes to a point. But in the end, like, I'm not going to go up to somebody random and give them my unsolicited opinion on what they should do with their body. I mean, Gina, what do you feel?
No, I feel the same thing that you guys said. I feel like it should be the woman's choice, whether they want to have that done or not. I don't think anyone should have to control that. So I totally agree with what you guys were saying.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's what the problem is, though, is that like these lawmakers think that they can just do that. And the whole thing about America is that we're supposed to be the land of the free, land of the free, home of the brave, Yeah. But they're taking away that freedom for a woman to make that choice for herself. And I think, first of all, I don't think any man should be saying that. But I mean, realistically, at least have women lawmakers making these decisions,
Yeah.
But then there's also a few women lawmakers who also disagree and say, there should be stricter laws.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the times that's when, religion comes in, and it makes you think, are you able to separate your own beliefs with
Yes.
laws? And it makes you
Separate-
think, not everybody has the same religion as other people.
Exactly. It's separating religion from the state. And I
Mhm.
think that's where people seem to get confused. And I feel like if you are somebody who gets confused about that, then maybe politics should not be your place.
Mhm.
And maybe you need to go into a church and you need to work at a church because and that's like not meaning to be mean at all.
Yeah.
It's if you can't do that in a country where that is a thing, like we're supposed to be separating religion from state, you can't be doing that in politics,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And unfortunately, I don't think a woman's body should be politics. But,
It shouldn't.
like I said, once again, these opinions are mine of my own. They do not reflect the station.
Mhm.
We got to keep putting that out there because they don't need to. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, realistically, I think there's not much more to say other than as a room full of women. We like to pick what we would do with our own bodies,
we
right?
love our rights.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm butting
cool.
in because you said it perfectly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't tell me what to do with my body. Anyway, let's move on.
Yes, thank you, Lara. Now moving on.
Public schools continue to enforce 10-day quarantines. New Jersey recommends 5 days. The Montclair Public School District will continue to enforce a 10-day quarantine for students and staff who test positive for COVID-19, while state guidance has been revised down to just 5 days. According to Superintendent Jonathan Pons, said, quote, "We have conferred with our medical professionals and out of an abundance of caution, we will continue requiring a 10-day quarantine period," end quote. Department of Health Commissioner Judith Pershichelli
Got it.
You got it.
said said in a press release, quote, "We know that students benefit from in-person learning and safely continuing in-person instruction remains a priority. These recommendations will help local health departments and schools in handling COVID-19 cases and exposures among students and staff to ensure healthy outcomes for all," end quote.
Wow.
It's the safety.
I'm not mad at Montclair schools for doing this at all.
I'm not either. It's crazy that it's spreading so fast especially because of Omicron, it can be spread really fast.
Exactly. And it's not only spread really fast, but then these kids, these teenagers, they might understand, but they don't fully understand. So certain things, I guess, aren't as scary to them.
Yeah.
So they're a little more reckless with it, which I'm not saying all kids are, but some young kids tend to be. And I mean, with that, you kind of want these quarantines just because like you don't know when they got it, you don't know all these other things. So I think the 10-day quarantine is good that they're doing because 5 days is the 5 days is the recommended if you catch it on time and whatever, but some kids don't like to admit that they're sick and or things like that. And
a friend of mine, her brother goes to high school. It's his first year, and his entire class, the entire class got COVID. And it's crazy how like some, like you said, some kids are not willing to admit because they've been stuck at home on Zoom for so long. They're like, I don't want to go back home. I want to stay in school.
Yeah.
It's weird because usually kids want to stay home, but now since it's the opposite, they'll do anything to stay in school. And
even some adults won't admit. So like really like kids won't either. And it depends, especially with parents, like depends on the parents, if they actually get their kid tested, they admit, you don't even know. So I think the 10-day quarantines, at least for schools, is very safe. I know for work, people like the 5 days is like basically why they made it the 5 days. But like for schools, I think it's good to keep it a little longer. It's safer. There's a lot of people in a small building. They're young, it's just safety precautions always, it just makes sense. That's all you can really say is it just makes sense. Moving on, we have our next story. This one's kind of sad. I'm gonna bring down my energy a little bit. Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, singer, has died at 74 years old. Meatloaf, one of the best-selling albums of all time and singer of Bat Out of Hell, has died at age 74. Great song, I'm assuming. The statement was posted on Facebook saying, "Our hearts are broken to announce that the incomparable Meatloaf passed away tonight with his wife, Deborah, by his side. Daughters Pearl and Amanda are close friends and have been with him throughout the last 24 hours, end quote. Meatloaf's two biggest albums, 1977's Bat Out of Hell and 1933 follow-up Bat Out of Hell 2, Back Into Hell, produced numerous hit singles, including Paradise by the Dashboard Light and 2 out of 3 Ain't Bad and I'd Do Anything for Love. He also won a Grammy in 1993 for Best Solo Rock Vocal Performance for song I'd Do Anything for Love. I think I know it. I'd Do Anything for Love. I think I know that one. I don't know the other ones, but I think I know that one. So we can't do a moment of silence. We are on air. But if we were able to do, it would be crickets.
We can say silence.
Silence.
Silence for silence.
Meatloaf. I mean, I really didn't know you. Your name is fantastic.
I agree.
I hope you're resting in peace, honestly. Like, all jokes aside, you know, very sad. And I'm so sorry for his daughters, his wife, you know, our condolences to them. So very, very sad. And yeah, so we had that moment of silence that was not a silence.
We could switch to a happier note,
but we can switch to gooder news.
You know, good news that gives us, you know, that brain serotonin. Team Pilot broke record. Team Pilot with record-breaking flight around the world.
Fun.
Teenage pilot Zara Rutherford landed in Germany on Wednesday on the stop of her bid to become the youngest woman to fly solo around the world, like Jason Derulo. That caught me off guard. That caught me off guard.
I forgot I put that in.
Whoa, when did Jason Derulo get in the room? That's crazy.
Guys, sorry to butt in again, but she was flying solo.
Solo.
Nice.
Jason Derulo.
Zara Rutherford had to land in Kortrijk, Belgium on Thursday, which was her final stop. Yesterday, she is now the youngest woman to fly around the world. The 19-year-old said that she's looking forward to getting home after a long...
Just kidding. She is home. Sorry.
Wow. She is happy to be home then, I guess, after a long 5 months. She started her trip on August 18th of 2021. And back in 2017, Shaista Wise was 30. Oh, she became the youngest woman to fly solo at the age of 30. Rutherford said that she quote hopes to encourage more girls to go into aviation and kind of show a friendly face. So if that girl likes aviation and she sees me, she knows that she's not the only one. End quote. I think it was amazing. It was interesting because I actually reported on the story last semester as a newscaster, and I remember I can't wait till this, you know, till she actually finally lands. But I think it was pretty cool.
And now she's landed.
She
has landed. And that, you know what, it's so cool to see, you know, women taking over fields that have been in the past dominated by men. And I think it's so exciting, and she's, you know, breaking records. Like, that's so cool. And as she says in her little quote that she hopes it encourages more girls to go into aviation and, you know, things like that. I'm glad that she is that role model, and, you know, it is good to have those role models because it does make for more girls to want to go into these fields.
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes one person, and then people will be like, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. So
exactly.
And what makes it more impressive is that she's a young woman. You know, people think, you know, with the youth these days, you know, what are they going to do? But it's interesting that a lot of young women these days are taking charge and going into programs that you never think they would be interested in, especially like with young girls in aviation, some girls who are in, like, you know, into the STEM field, even in communications, like, you know, like us just being in this studio right now.
Yes, a studio full of women is very uncommon in radio. It is. No, and
yeah,
you're 100% correct. It's these male dominated professions and all are no longer male. Well, they're still kind of male dominated, but it's changing, and
we're getting there.
That's such a good thing. You know, because who doesn't want to do fun things? Because, you know, and it's always these really fun professions, like aviation. Super cool.
It is
incredibly cool.
Will you catch me on a plane? No, but I support those who will.
Exactly. And like, I mean, I'll take her flying my plane. I'll get on that plane. Take me to Germany. Do it. So I mean, good for her, honestly.
Mhm.
Is it Zara or Zara? Like
I
the store?
I feel like it's Zara.
If
Tomato,
it's-
tomato. Oh. I
You
hear
muted
myself
on
on
Zoom.
Whoa. Oh, I had muted myself.
I was literally just said that, and you're like, "Whoa!"
I love you just like, whoa.
For any of you confused that are listening, not on Facebook, Lara unmuted herself on the Zoom, and it was just like an inception for us.
My brain went back to That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to turn my mic on.
You did the wrong thing.
I turned my mic on, just not in the right thing.
Oh,
I don't-
that makes
know,
it. I was like,
it's-
"Whoa! Why am I hearing Lara
it's still
twice?"
early
I was
morning,
like,
you know.
whoa.
Ugh.
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, you forgot. What
Go women.
Yeah.
Girl
yeah.
power.
Woo woo.
Part of me wanted to say go sports for some reason. Oh.
My
Um,
bad, guys.
Maybe.
Yeah, but go women. And I can't say anything other than good for them for getting into these fields and doing these things that, first of all, I mean, even as a man, are you doing them? Did you fly around the world?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So we're gonna start off with this newer segment we've got going on. It is in fact called "Am I in the Wrong?" You might have heard of this segment on other things before. We're doing it here today. So basically, in this segment, we are going to deep dive into the wonderful world of Reddit and sticky situations. We'll be reading you some situations, and we get to decide if that person is in the wrong. I'm very excited. I don't know about you guys. I'm super
Yeah,
excited.
I'm
excited.
All right. So for the first story, we have my teacher took my phone because I was on it in class. She made me open it and I let her read through very personal text messages with my mom. All right, guys. So basically, here's the story. It's exam week at my school, and I was in my English class. 90% of the teachers at our school let you go on your phone after you finish with your exam. So after I completed everything I needed to do for English, I started reading. I then opened my phone to text my mom a question about some money stuff going on with me. The teacher told me to put it away, and I finished up my text message and then put it away. She then told me to put it up on her desk for the rest of the hour. So I placed it on her desk and went back to reading. About 5 minutes before the bell rang, I went up to her desk to get my phone, and before I could say anything, she just said, "I'll talk to you at the end of the hour." Okay, weird. This has never happened to me before. The bell rings, and I go up to her desk to retrieve my phone and get scolded. She picks up my phone and gives me a lecture about being on my phone and not putting it away immediately after being told to. She then hands me my phone and asks to unlock it, so I do. She asked me to show her my text messages. I hold up the phone so that she can see that I was texting my mom, but not close enough to see the conversation. She then tells me to hand the phone to her so she can read my messages. And I kind of start to argue against it, but she's insistent and takes the phone from me. She scrolled around for a bit and read my personal text messages to my mom. She gave me "Was this really important enough to be doing during my class?" And I said no, even though it was actually very important to me. She did this all in front of my classmates who were watching. I realized that I probably shouldn't assume that all teachers have the same rules, but was she really justified to read my text messages? How do we feel, guys? Was this person in the wrong?
No, no. It's
No.
just what I don't
think the original poster was in the wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They're not the wrong.
Look, there is a difference between. Okay, yeah. Should the original poster have taken out their phone without checking to make sure that was okay? Probably not. But that teacher needs to get retrained in their job because, okay, taking the phone away, one thing.
Yeah.
But making it so you have to where you're forcing the student to let you read their messages, their personal messages. That is not okay. That is their personal business.
Especially in front of other classmates. Like that's very
It's embarrassing. It's like mortifying. You're reading personal messages. Everyone knows your business.
Yeah.
And it's just overall such a bad situation.
It's almost degrading.
Yeah, she could have left it at, okay, you took your phone out. I get it, you want to show to the class. This is, you're putting your foot down. Don't use your phone in class. Just do that. But you don't have to go as far as, unlocking her phone and going through all these messages.
And then putting down the importance of her message with her mom. You don't know their conversations. You don't know how important those messages actually were. You're reading a 5-second part of the conversation. And you're then going to downplay. I'm sorry. If the original poster says it's important, It's important.
Mm-hmm. Like, I understand there is a time and a place, especially in school, to use your phone, but if it, like, for example, this could have been an emergency.
Yeah.
I mean, it
and
didn't say
Yeah.
otherwise, but you never know. But it's just, I don't know, schools with phones and the policies, it's crazy.
yeah. So I just want to say that that Reddit has agreed with us, and Reddit has said that the original poster is not in the wrong, which I agree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Because should the original poster have been on their phone? No, but the teacher could have handled it in a much different manner than
Mm-hmm.
they did. So that's really annoying. That's really unfortunate. Let's move on to the next one. Maddie, do you want to read this one?
Yes. AITW for telling roommate her husband is lying about having a job. A married couple who were previously friends moved in about a year ago. And since then, oh, I'm sorry. Since I've realized this guy is a complete, we're not going to say that. He is selfish, passive aggressive, rude, and it's all come to a head that I currently have COVID and have been home for the past 5 days. So my roommates found out they are pregnant about a month ago. 2 months ago, the guy quit his job and decided to go into real estate, but absolutely refuses to get any sort of job or part-time income, putting all the pressure on his wife. He is super passive aggressive and vocal about how they don't have any money and how they need it. But when anyone brings it up that he could contribute, he acts all angry and hurt because nobody believes him. She's working full time, pregnant and sick most of the time, and it turns out he is completely lying about the real estate. I have Mondays off at my job, and I was always suspicious as he never did any work when I was home. But now it's been a week and he hasn't done anything. I genuinely believe he has made up everything he has ever said about his work. While I was at home for 5 days, all he did was watch YouTube videos, go to the gym, and trash the house. He also whines and complains about how dirty the house is, and either makes her clean or makes me instead. He then goes to pick up his wife from work and makes up stories about having leads and door knocking and everything he can have for his real estate stuff. It's all complete lies. I have a bias as I have hated almost every moment he has lived here. I've tried everything I can, including outright calling him out, but there's no change. He's still the same way, and that's what has held me back from telling his wife. I care about her, but is it really my business to tell her?
I think it's
That's
her
a lot.
business.
I think it's
To tell her.
complicated.
I mean,
That was
yes,
a lot.
it's relationships like this are, private. You shouldn't butt into relationships like this, but she's pregnant, sick half the time, and
She's
working so
pregnant,
hard.
working, she's cleaning. The guy's like making her clean. I'm like, oh my gosh, I heard enough from this guy. I personally would hope that if I had a roommate or something that was living with me and my husband, I would hope, and she saw that behavior,
Mhm,
I hope she wouldn't just bring it up if it wasn't a big deal. But if it was something like this, how she's explaining it, I would
mhm.
hope she at least would bring it to my attention to make me aware. And then I personally can make my own decision whether to continue being with the guy
Yeah.
or having
Or
him move out
figuring
or
out.
figuring out
Yeah.
how we can work this out.
I
in
feel
some
like
way.
as roommates, you have because I also live on campus. When you're with a roommate, you have this bond with each other.
Mhm.
And when you feel like you have information like this to share, I feel like she should tell her, but this, like you said, it's up to that roommate to decide what should happen in the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like be like, as a close friend, and I've seen how much you struggle, it's important that you know this.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think from a relationship point of view, it's harder to get in the middle of someone's relationship and all. But considering the original poster is in fact a roommate of theirs, it's more of a roommate thing, because at that
Mhm.
point it's like, you're now bothering me.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
becoming an us problem. And I think in that case, yeah, bring it up to, because it's in that case it's a roommate thing, and it's a
Mhm.
roommate problem with the cleaning, and he's not contributing. Like, that's a roommate problem. Boom, right there. And then from there, the wife,
Mhm,
yes,
wife.
Yeah.
wife can then figure out what the vibes are for how she feels about that, or I'm assuming it's just she, I don't know, how they feel about that and things like that. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I mean, just to inform is not to tell what to do would be different, but to inform, I think it's not in the wrong.
Yeah.
So that was that. I'm Gabi Lutz, joined by Mari Zuniga, Gina Morelli, Lara Zaccardi, and that was Friday Buzz. And yeah, that's that on that. So I guess we're out. Have a good one, guys.